Okay, so Ghost Spider is looking for the Inhuman that killed her best friend, and he was also an Inhuman, but she's wanted by the cops. And there are these S.H.I.E.L.D. guys, and Squirrel Girl and Miss Marvel are teaming up to be the best super team ever, and...
Okay, Marvel Rising, I get it. How much sugar have you had today?
Not much. 27 pixie sticks and a 2-liter of Coke.
That explains so much. You know, in spite of being in black and white and printed backwards, manga is, in a way, easier to read than American comics. If for no other reason, then it has a clear beginning, middle, and end spread across a single timeline. Whereas both DC and Marvel have spawned a whole video subgenre on YouTube dedicated to keeping track of all the insane happenings in their respective universes. Let's just assume you don't know who Spider-Gwen, Squirrel Girl, and Miss Marvel are. From the first episode of Marvel Rising Initiation, you would know that they're superheroes, and that's about it. There have been a bajillion Spider-Man shows, and even the ones that start in medias res still ease you into things, with Spidey fighting like one dude, typically not a heavy hitter.
Yeah, you can't just go from zero to Kingpin.
The mess gets even bigger with a couple of S.H.I.E.L.D. agents and not a decent introduction for any of them. Fortunately, there is at least a main character. Ghost Spider, aka Spider-Gwen, aka Gwen Stacy, and she has Gwenpool hair for some reason. She's the best character in the episode not only because she has a backstory, kind of, but she looks cool. Seriously, this is a fantastic looking costume. Not too simple, not too complex, clearly one of the Spider Clan, but not derivative of any of them. They also go to the trouble of humanizing her with some non-hero interests. Namely, she's in a band with some kids from school, including Twilight Sparkle. I mean Poison Ivy. I mean Ember McLean. I mean...
Can it, Private? Tara's been in a lot of stuff.
I mean Mary Jane Watson. The second best character is Squirrel Girl, who's high energy, loud, and random. This type of humor is tricky to pull off, but if you can do it, you've got a bright ray of sunshine that will bring joy to the people of the world. If you mess it up, well, let's say, Urge to Kill Rising. Now, I won't say I wanted to see SG shot in the head execution style and buried in a shallow grave in the Mojave, but I would understand if you did.
Ring-a-ding-ding.
Also, I need to call foul on her pet squirrel that can chew through Gwen's webs. That thing has to be from Oscorp or Asgard. Next up, we have the marvelous Miss Meh. Kamala is about as exciting as room temperature water, and the only reaction she got out of me was reflexive laughter at the activation phrase for her Apache Chief Mr. Fantastic powers, Embiggen.
Embiggen!
Embiggens? Never heard that word before I moved to Springfield.
I don't know why. It's a perfectly cromulent word.
Do mine eyes deceive me? Is that a new low in dialogue?
Now, as much as that was the golden age of The Simpsons, get with the times, Grandma. It's 2018, not 1998. Okay, on to Patriot. He actually has too much personality.
Are smug quips a personality now?
When everyone else is talking like a Buffy the Vampire Slayer character, maybe going for the strong silent type is the thing to do. Finally, there's Shield Drone 4021. She helps Gwen, for some reason, and is basically a plot device. Moving on. Let's look at the art design. The general style somehow reminds me of the 90s Spider-Man cartoon, minus the super science and, cool stuff. It also has a very Flash animation-esque look. The characters look okay when they're standing around, but the movement looks oddly stiff, especially when action scenes are happening. It's not one big thing, just a general lack of fluidity combined with how little impact everything seems to have. It all adds up to a not very visually engaging show. Okay, now it's time to break down the good and the bad in Marvel Rising Initiation. On the good side, some of the characters are fun, particularly Ghost Spider and Squirrel Girl. But the show has bland visuals and it requires at least some familiarity with what's going on in the Marvel Universe right now. Honestly, this first episode was pretty bland, so I'm giving Marvel Rising Initiation a 3 out of 5. Now, if you're interested in more reviews of anime, movies, TV shows, comic books, or video games, check out my channel right here on YouTube. Thank you for watching.
Hey kids, today's show is brought to you by the letter 4 and the number potato! I'm a stupid private.